In Keith's latest NFL mock draft, Arizona wide receiver Jordyn Tyson going top 5 to the New York Giants is a game-changing pick.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I'm Damian Parson. That's Keith Sanchez. And on today's episode, we are breaking down Keith's latest mock draft ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft. We're going to talk about the underrated picks, the most interesting picks. We're going to kick this show off with our favorite picks and why. I got a question for Keith when it comes down to the 5th overall in his mock draft. Keith, with the 5th overall pick, we know the New York Giants are a team that they feel like they found their quarterback in Jaxson Dart long term. He played well as a rookie for Brian Daboll and everything last year. Now you got John Harbaugh coming. I think Matt Nagy is the new OC. And when I saw this, Keith, I was like, I like it. You know what I mean? I like it a lot. And I think it fits very well. You have Jordyn Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State, wide receiver 1 for me, and I'm assuming he's wide receiver 1 for you as well. You have him going to the New York Giants. That's probably my favorite fit because I love that pairing of him and Malik Nabers long term. And at the end of the day, my thought process is simple. Jaxson Dart, only run if you have to, okay? Like, if protection truly breaks down, that's when I want you to run. I'm not calling no QB zone reads. I'm not putting you in a position to have to use your legs and use your body and take hits, right? I'm not trying to do that. I want to get you weapons to where you can sit in that pocket, decipher what's going on post-snap, and get the ball to some explosive playmakers, Keith. Talk to the people, because I already hear the chatter, Keith. Well, Jordyn Tyson's injury history is what they're worried about.
Well, yeah, okay, so being in this position is the ideal situation, I felt as though, for Jordyn Tyson and for a team to take Jordyn Tyson, meaning that if you're concerned about the injury history, right, you will want him to come in as potentially a wide receiver 2, 1.5 versus a wide receiver 1 where you've kind of put all your eggs in one basket, right? And then if he's injury prone, or let's say if it's through his career, he plays 70% of his games, right? Then the best ability is availability, and he doesn't meet that threshold. But I thought pairing him up with Malik Nabers, you feel really good about the 1-2 punch, right? If he fills the role of the 1.5 in this situation instead of being the 1 and having to carry the entire workload. So I understand why people would be like, hey, that's extremely high for Jordyn Tyson in the injury prone, situation. I just think, in my opinion, that's a good spot for him to be able to work through that, right? And even if it is a soft tissue injury and hamstrings are a little weird on his surgery, whatever that may be, he can take the time in the process to go through that to get fully healthy. But I think on the flip side of that, DP, the upside is immense, right? Like he's wide receiver 1 for you, he's wide receiver 1 for me, right? And if you get a healthy Jordyn Tyson combined with a healthy Malik Nabers, then yeah, you have one of the best young duos in the entire NFL, right? It's something that's going to rival the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combination, if Jaxson Dart can get them the football. Speaking with that same thought process, DP, for my favorite pick, I'm going to go to pick 7, I believe. The Washington Commanders taking Carnell Tate for pretty much everything I just outlined with Jordyn Tyson is why I believe that he should go there. And this brings upon a larger conversation, DP, that we had about these wide receivers, right? And we're like, maybe this class is closer to the 2023, 24 class, right? When you had Zay Flowers and Jackson Smith-Njigba all going to 20s. But because of the demand issue, we may see them go a lot higher. But also, I don't know if you feel the same way, that I can see these guys being wide receiver 1s, but I can also get a vibe for that some of them are probably best suited as 2s. And for Carnell Tate, I think a situation where he's a part of a situation, right? Like part of the offensive scheme, and he's not the entire thing, I think will bode greatly for him because, listen, I love his route running. I think he has an expansive catch radius, right? I think he's a high IQ football player. But the dominant things that we see athletically from wide receiver 1s with the ball in their hands after they catch the football is something that's lacking for Carnell Tate. And I guess I'm not going to be somebody that overlooks it, right? Like I feel like some of us are just not there. But when you think about the best of the best wide receivers in the NFL, DP, they're dominant, in run after the catch situations also, in my opinion, right? Like there's a physical presence that they have, or there's a electric can't catch them, right? Like even, the AJ Browns, the Tyreek Hills, the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases, the Jackson Smith and Jigbas, right? Like how many times we see him catch the football and throw people off of them? Like all of that stuff, in my opinion, is necessary to be a top wide receiver. So him going to the Washington Commanders, that's Carnell Tate, pairing up with another former Ohio State wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, show him the rope, show him the ins, show him the outs. I think you're going to get the very best of Carnell Tate. And then Jayden Daniels now has two bona fide weapons to throw the football to, because I think last year, and Commanders fans have told me, like, oh, well, Jayden was hurt. And I'm like, yeah, but did you not see how untalented your team was, right? Did you not catch on to that part, right? I think with him being out, you've seen, okay, this team needs some work. We need some work as a team.
No, I mean, I love that fit for pairing a recent Buckeye with the former Buckeye and Terry McLaurin and Carnell Tate, because McLaurin gives you what Carnell Tate doesn't, and that's yards after catch ability. Per NFL Pro, Terry McLaurin, in terms of yards after catch over expectation, has been plus his entire career. He's been in the plus mark in the green his entire career in terms of making plays with the football in his hands. That's not Carnell Tate's game, right? And I think, to your point, we both like Carnell Tate. Do we love Carnell Tate? Is he a true one? I have some concerns when it comes down to dealing with physical, aggressive man coverage corners, right? Or guys that can, especially guys that are anywhere close to his frame. And he came in the same height as Jordyn Tyson. Like that was one of the plus marks over Tyson, was that, oh, he's 6'3", come to the combine, he's 6'2". And it was like, oh, okay, so you're actually the exact same height or very close to being the exact same height. But like the ball skills are there, the route running is there. But I think you take that pressure off of him from having to be your everything. Where if you go to Cleveland as Carnell Tate, and to your point, Keith, I believe people are overlooking. I've had people. My question also with him is play strength. Like, you know what I mean? When you face press coverage, you see him get kind of bullied and moved off his spot mid route, and that timing disrupting. People respond back to me on Twitter. It's like, well, he's going to get stronger. I'm like, we said that about Devonta Smith too.
Right.
Devonta Smith might have got a little more cut, but body type, he's the exact same dude he was at Alabama. I can't assume that Carnell Tate's going to bulk up, and then if he bulks up, how does that affect his speed?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm looking at the Washington Commanders depth chart right now, I believe, right? So listen, Terry McLaurin, right? Home run. But you go from Terry McLaurin to Luke McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, Diami Brown, Van Jefferson, and Jalen Lane, right? So DP, to me, in my opinion, wide receivers is not just like a secondary, it's a primary need. Like you need somebody to come behind Terry McLaurin, like, and you're also talking about an older Terry McLaurin. Like, what does this, like, it's a Terry McLaurin a bust type of show, right? And you can't have that, right? Just because you on the opposite side, right? What if he has a minor foot injury or a hamstring injury? Then now look at your wide receiver core if you pull Terry McLaurin out. Like, you need the depth there, and I think that's what's proven in the NFL.
No, 100%. I think that's just a great pairing. We know JD5 is an accurate quarterback down the field. He's going to and with a guy like, because I think similar to Dart, I'm fine with JD, running the ball, because he stopped taking those Looney Tune hits once he got to the league.
Just got to get out of bounds and slide.
Yeah, he just got to get out of bounds, slide
enough to like avoid.
Yeah, 100%. He's not running head on to collision trying to prove that he's a dude like Jaxson Dart was doing. So I feel fine with him running, but it's the same thing with Dart, though. I want you to run out of necessity, or if we call it, right? Like, I don't want you to just run just because the fact nobody's open. So getting him a guy like a Carnell Tate, where it's like, hey, his A trait, as I think we talked about when we did his profile about a month ago, his A trait is his route running. It's the technical prowess, a technical aspect of his game, Keith. And I think allowing him to pair with Terry McLaurin and everything, I think they still probably go. This is a team, and we might need to do an episode, but they're teams that should probably double dip at receiver in this loaded class. The Commanders are a team that I think should double dip. Like, you get a guy in round 1, round 4 or 5, you get another guy, just an opposite skill set. You know what I mean? If you get that Carnell Tate in round 1 to pair with Terry McLaurin, well, you get that explosive, twitchy, maybe gadget, not gadget, but slot receiver that could come in and be special teams guy for you in round 4, but also project well to the slot. I think that was a really good fit for just 2 of the top receivers in this class.
Yeah, I agree with DP. You talked about double dipping at the wide receiver position. Guess what? You must have been reading my mind, because next up is the most interesting picks, and that's exactly where I was going. There's a team in the first round that I had draft 2 first-round wide receivers. Yes, I did it. We're going to talk about it coming up next.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not just you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I could actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures, commission merchant, and swap firm. Don't forget to check out the Everyday Club for ad-free episodes and access to our group chat in the Discord channel with me, with Keith, with other listeners of the show and other NFL Draft fans. Tap the link in the show notes or go to lockedonnfldraft.supercast.com to sign up and join. Keith, that's where I was going too. You have the Miami Dolphins, Keith. Let's talk about it. It's interesting, but it's interesting on the fun, explosive side of things. We're talking about Malik Willis, and let's add, you traded Jaylen Waddle at 11. Guys, Keith has the Miami Dolphins selecting a wide receiver out of USC, Makai Lemon. Then remember, they traded Waddle to the Denver Broncos, so they have pick 30. At pick 30, he goes with Chris Brazzell, the second, the 6'4", 200-pound, 4.37 wide receiver out of Tennessee. Can you talk to the people? Let them know why you decided to, because these are interesting fits, but in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think about what you did in the offseason, right? And previous of the Jaylen Waddle trade, you signed Malik Willis, right? And to me, it was a contract that says, we think we believe in you, right? Because it wasn't a big boy 45, some reporting he's gonna get $45 million a year. It wasn't that, right? It was a nice mid-level contract, right? But you've seen what Sam Darnold, right? And I know everybody's gonna use Sam Darnold as the case study, but you've seen Sam Darnold and you've seen the Seattle Seahawks be able to build a team around him with a mid-level quarterback, right? And so my thinking was this: the Miami Dolphins, as currently constructed, talking about their roster, right? And I think we talked about this already, but I'm going to go through this again to further my point. Their receivers, as currently constructed, right? Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, that's their top 3. Backups, Theo Weiss, Taj Washington, and Terrace Marshall Jr. That's not that may be the worst wide receiver core in the NFL, DP. So while me drafting 2 wide receivers may seem kind of, I guess, galaxy brain or, off the cuff, right? They kind of need it. You kind of need 2. You might need 3 guys, right? And I don't, when you talk about, and back to my point of Malik Willis, is that if you want the best version of Malik Willis, I'm going to read off the Green Bay Packers wide receiver depth chart, right? And DP, look at this, right? Last year, it was, they don't have them now, but last year, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks, Savion Williams, Bo Melton, DP. That was 6 wide receivers. I think I'm probably going to take all 6 before I take the first one for the Miami Dolphins. Being completely honest, and that's not talking about the tight ends, right? And we know Tucker Kraft got injured, but Luke Musgrave also, right? Like, so there's weapons on top of weapons, and you look at the running back situation, obviously Josh Jacobs there. So I just think if you want to get a better version of Malik Willis, then you have to invest into the wide receiver and getting him some help, because no quarterback we've seen is weapon proof, right? And we've seen this with the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, right? That last playoff game, I forgot who was against, right? And everybody say Tom Brady might be done, right? They part ways. Tom Brady go grab Rob Gronkowski. He goes to a place that has Mike Evans, and he go get Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, he go get weapons, and then he wins the Super Bowl. We say, wait, I guess he wasn't done. So this is for every quarterback that they need the weapons. And I think the Miami Dolphins wide receiver room is really bad. They don't have a number one. I'm not sure if they even have a two right now. It's just, and I'm just being honest, DP. And there's no, I don't mean any disrespect to the players, right? Shout out to the players. It's just more so just looking at this roster as far as if I'm a general manager, would I feel comfortable with saying, okay, that's a one, that's a two. I think Malik Washington has talent. I think these guys have talent, but they have talent in specific roles. Your wide receiver ones are guys that you feel like you can play across the board and do what you want to do.
No, I completely agree. And Malik Washington is a guy I had on the show when he came out in the draft. Love what he brings to the table, and I think he'll be a good wide receiver 3 to that duo of Chris Brazzell and Makai Lemon.
Yeah, he showed what he can do last year, right? Like some of those things. And listen, and if it was still constructed with Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, and he was the number 3. Then I'm like, okay, that's super dangerous, right? Like if he's the number 3, because he's one of those short area quickness, make you miss a space. Like I don't know if teams have 3 corners, right? That can do that at a high level. But also the other part we have to discuss, this is a totally different offensive scheme, right? So what does this look like? Do they make him do more traditional wide receiver things, which doesn't play into his skill set?
No, and I think with Green and it's Dolphins fans are gonna. I think some Dolphin fans are gonna. It's going to be a little bit of a split because some of them look at how the brass that's coming over from Green Bay, Halfley, I think the GM, all of that, like what they did in Green Bay. We know, like when the receivers you listed, most outside of Matthew Golden, everybody was like day 2, day 3. Remember that year they drafted like 4 or 5 pass catchers in the same draft. Felt like
I think that was the 23 draft. I think
so. There was like Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Luke Musgrave, and then Tucker Kraft. Right? I think those were the 4 that they drafted. It was like, dang, they went heavy on pass catchers, and it was like more bites at the apple. Somebody's going to miss, or somebody's going to be injury prone. Somebody's not going to pan out, but we're going to take as many bites at the apple as possible. A lot of people feel like they're going to do the same thing. My personal opinion, I'm not passing on top talent in this class. This is a very deep in terms of the depths and the talent of this class. But when I can get a premier playmaker in this class, I get a Makai Lemon. And if I double down, and I know some people say, hey, get a corner, right? I think there's we'll have the conversation about the corner class. Going through some of these corners, I like this corner class. Like, you know what I mean? It gives you have like I said with the receiver group, it's the same thing. You have some of the ice cream shop situation where you can go in and find your flavor. If you want a big body guys, some big body guys, Takaria Davis, Ephesians Prasad, Devin Moore, right? You can get some of those big guys. You want the short area quickness, twitchy guys that can play man in zone. You got Mansour Delane, Chris Johnson out of San Diego State, of course, Jamont McCoy, which we'll see his pro day on tomorrow. We'll see how all that stuff plays out, Keith. But I think you can get corners later. I'm just not of the mindset, and I think the report came out that they told Malik Willis they were trading Jaylen Waddle before they did it. If that's true, I appreciate the heads up to Malik Willis. Not going early receiver will probably piss me off if I'm Malik Willis, because I want to get a playmaker in there that can step in. You need one, like really badly. You need one. You know what I mean? And yes, you can tank, but it's like, well, you can't tank for Jeremiah Smith and Arch Manning next year. Like, I think you have a first round pick for next year, yours. I don't believe the Broncos gave you their first round pick next year. So if that's the case, no, like you take the pass catchers now. And the fact that this offense is probably going to run similar, maybe some similarities to how Green Bay ran it, you're going to get run action. You're going to get Devon Achane, probably heavy dose of him. Run the football with him, play action, and we know that Malik Willis he's showcased that. He's a talented deep ball thrower, but he's also added layer throws to his game. He's more technically sound now too, so I think he'll pair well with what Makai Lemon will add, pairing with Malik Washington, and then of course the deep ball to Chris Brazzell, and that's how I think you want to see. To your point, the contract was set up to say we believe in you, but how much? You got to show us. It's like a tryout, and they want to see, okay, can you do more with less? Which I don't like doing that to a young quarterback that is getting his first full season as a starter. You asked Josh Allen to do more with less. We're paying you a lot of money, right? We asked you to do more with less. I'm not asking Malik Willis to do more with less. So let's go get him some more, Keith.
Yup, with DP. Listen, we knocked out our favorite picks from my recent mock draft, we now got the most interesting picks, right? The Miami Dolphins taking 2 first-round wide receivers. Now we have to go to the underrated picks, and I have mine, DP. Mine is at the very end of this draft, and a good conversation that we're going to have. Let's talk about that coming up next.
Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in America. It's all because of you. Most underrated picks, those sleeper picks, and people look at your mock and say, man, I never thought about that, Keith. And I think I know where you were going. Is it pick 31 where you were about to head to?
I was actually pick 32. Pick 32.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
I went with the Seattle Seahawks grabbing Arkansas running back Mike Washington, right? And off the cuff, right? It doesn't sound extremely appealing, right? Because you still have the rest of the NFL thinkers who are still trying to get overtaking running backs in the first round, right? And then you still have the helmet scouting element of it. Is like it's Arkansas, right? It's not like they were really good. But like I said in my excerpt, DP, when you talk about checking the boxes during the pre-draft process, this young man checked them all. He went to the Senior Bowl. He ran well. He caught the football well, right? Interviewed well. Went to the combine, tested well, right? So he's done everything. Plus the film matches up, right? And I think if you're the Seattle Seahawks, and we talked about this, those general managers, DP, that because they've had success already, they are confident enough to do what they want, right? And I know people are like, okay, well, they're the general managers. They always do what they want. Not necessarily. The outside pressure from fans, right, can get general managers to overthink situations or to be like, you know what, consensus why I can't take a running back here because everybody's going to kill me in the media, right? They think those things. They're human, right? And so, but I think Seattle Seahawks general manager, he's put himself in a situation with having really good teams, different versions of really good teams, right? So it's like, you know, I'm really good at my job. So I think taking a running back at 32-1, it's a positional need, right? Like they need a running back. The Seattle Seahawks, obviously losing Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet returning, you know, from an ACL injury. And so they need a running back. And I thought, why not go with an explosive, proven guy? Like he's been a bell cow before. He's explosive. You've seen it. You know, I remember we mentioned this, DP, on a podcast. It was a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I don't want to say, but he kind of looks like Adrian Peterson a little bit, right? And people are starting to come around to it. It's like, yeah, when he opens that stride, right? It looks a little different. And the thing is compared to what Adrian Peterson was, right? As far as being a Hall of Fame running back, one of the best running backs of his era. If you get an Adrian Peterson light, it was well worth a first round pick, right? Because you go back in Adrian Peterson draft, he's probably a top 5, top 3 pick, right? Just as far as how legendary it was. So if you get an Adrian Peterson light, then you feel really good about that, drafting that at 32.
No, 100%. And at the end of the day, John Schneider is a guy that, you know, I'm not going to question him, right? People questioned him when he made the pick for Nick Emmanwori last year. And look how that turned out, right? Like the people, you know, people question. Heck, I've questioned them, like, why are you drafting so many running backs? Like, you know what I mean? They've done it so much over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
Kenneth Walker, Zach
Charbonnet. I think they drafted 2.
Damian Martinez.
And McIntosh in 1 year.
In the same draft. In the same
exact draft. After they drafted Kenneth Walker, I believe.
Yes.
I think they drafted Kenneth Walker the year before.
I think they might have had Kenneth Walker for 2 years, and then they went and doubled down and got 2 more running backs. I'm like, what in the world are we doing? Right? But it played out because Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet was a very good duo together that helped lead them to the playoffs and helped also cash in. And Kenneth Walker cashed in free agency. He's a Super Bowl MVP. All of that was crazy enough. It wasn't the quarterback that got Super Bowl MVP, guys. Just want to let you know, for those who don't like running backs, you know, we give quarterbacks a little bit too much credit. But I think you also, from a team standpoint, I'm not putting Sam Darnold I'm not putting them in the shoes of a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes, where yes, we paid you. Yes, you won the Super Bowl. I don't want you being the guy that has to carry this offense.
Yeah.
I don't want you true drop back sets 35, 40 times. I don't want that for Sam. I want balance. I want run game. I want physicality, because that defense, and that's kind of the way Mike McDonald has structured this team, him and John Schneider. That defense is fast and physical. The offense was also fast and physical. And you got JSN, who you just paid a buttload of money to. Let's get the run game going. So play action. Let JSN route guys up. And let's keep Sam Darnold on the positive trend forward rather than let's revert back to exposing him to the pass rush a little bit too much.
Yeah, DP. And I think that we kind of have to get out of that thought process, right? It seems like NFL teams, they once they find that their quarterback is a guy, they try to pile even more on them and be like, you know what, carry us. And it's like,
right,
why? Like, why not just?
Oh, I'll tell you why, Keith, because we out here spending 50, 60 million of APY on a guy. Well, he's taking up 20% of our salary cap. So it's like, well, you got to do it then. Like, and it's just like, well, maybe let's get remember how they put the rookie wage scale? Let's put a QB wage scale in. Because if at some point, Keith, in the next probably 4 or 5 years, we're gonna have a quarter making $100 million a year. Like it just keeps going up.
Yeah, it's definitely coming, and it's going to probably be a quarterback that probably doesn't deserve it, right? Like, I mean, you look at the Tua Tagovailoa situation.
Cut the very next year, Keith.
Yeah, did Trevor Lawrence set the market when he signed? I think he set the market, right? And he played solid football, but it's clear he's not. Like, there's no other position group where you can be average and then get paid the best
like a
money.
Top dog,
the top, and not even like a top. You are the top one, right? Like
you reset the market every time.
Yeah, and maybe the Sam Darnold conversation will come up. It's like, wait, so some of these castaway quarterbacks can get the job done if they have talent around them, right?
Look at Minnesota with Kyler. Kyler might end up playing himself into a long-term extension and being a long-term guy for Minnesota for Kevin O'Connell, right? Yeah. And they trade off JJ McCarthy, Keith. So it's very much an opportunity. But like to your point, as we were what you were saying, yeah, we kind of got to stop putting everything on. I don't care if it's Mahomes. I want to see Mahomes I'm glad they got Kenneth Walker. So whenever Mahomes is at the center, he's got a legitimate running back. You got the same thing, what Joe Brady was doing. Your boy Joe Brady was doing in Buffalo. Watching James Cook take the steps he has since he's been drafted to where he was a top 3, top 5 rusher last year for Josh Allen. Did they lean on that enough in the playoffs? No. But the point is, you got yourself a really good running back that takes that pressure off your quarterback. And that's what you tried to do right here for the Seattle Seahawks is let's get a Mike Washington Jr. who's big, who's physical, and who is fast, right? And he plays well downhill. I think he'll be a really nice fit. I don't know I can't remember who's the OC now that Clint Kubiak left to go to Las Vegas. So we'll see how the offense runs. I got to do some research into that. But still, I think this is a guy you can run power scheme with. I think he could be a one-cut runner and run the outside zone stuff, let him plant that outside foot, get north and south quickly, square his shoulders at 6'1", 230 with 4.33 speed. Yeah. Good luck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just telling the corner to tackle and it's telling linebacker to catch him. And those are not two advantageous situations, Keith. But I want to go to one other pick that I think is a very underrated pick in your mock. And you know, when you sent it to me, I want to go to the second round. I want to go to the second round real quick. And I want to go to the Indianapolis Colts getting Malachi Fields. That's a very underrated pick to me, Keith, because you lose Michael Pittman Jr., you traded him off, right? I think Malachi Fields projects as, from a profile standpoint, as a very similar style player, that prototypical big X receiver possession guy. I think from the film, he's a much more aggressive and dominant player at the catch point, where it's like, hey, you throw the ball in he's what I call area code receivers. Just put it in the area code. Just get into his area code. He can go up there and he gives you full effort, maxing out the frame, get full extension, like arms, everything. He's diving for throws. He's fully extending at the catch point. He's not a receiver like that waits for the ball. He literally, if you put it in a football dictionary, high point or attack at its highest point, you want to put a picture of Malachi Fields because that's what he does, Keith. So I think when you have a guy like Daniel Jones at quarterback, who is not the most accurate quarterback, he's good with the first read, but if you have to come to that second, third read, you have some issues. Well, having a guy that could catch pretty much anything, like a Malachi Fields, I think that helps him out a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a transition piece, DP. Like you had Michael Pittman, right? You drafted Alec Pierce, right? And you sign Alec Pierce, no longer have Michael Pittman. You go draft another big body wide receiver. And I think that you replicate what you as close as you can to what you had last year. because you want Daniel Jones to be as close as to last year as he was, right? You don't want any fall off. You're not trying to move backwards. You just paid him money. You want, let's at least put the bar of what we were last year, if not try to get a little bit better. So, yeah, I like that one too. And I think that it's probably going to properly line up to where I think Malachi Fields is still a supreme talent, but we all know ultimately the 40-yard dash time is going to hurt him as far as being a first-round wide receiver, right? Like, that's just what it is. But DP, that wraps up another episode, man, of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I want to end this podcast off by saying shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us each and every single day. I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there is my guy, my co-host, Mr. Damian Parson. Find him on X at DP_NFL. And like we like to say, man, y'all come talk to us because we like to talk back.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. On tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about some players that went to their pro day, did some things. One of the guys actually didn't do anything at all, not even field drills. Is that a sign that he might be going in the first round? We will talk about that on tomorrow's show. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.